Manchester City are having a lot of outgoings today. We got a here we go for Jack Grealish to Everton on a loan with a £50 million buy option, which is a huge amount of money. Despite his £100 million price tag a couple years ago, I think getting that much money, if you're able to, out of Jack Grealish at this stage in his career is a great piece of business. I don't know who they convinced at Everton, but hopefully they're for City's sake. There's a not an obligation, but a penalty if they don't buy him, so they can still make some money and then sell him for even more. Because I don't think anyone will buy him for that much, but I think for Everton, I think he'll be good. I think he could be a very good player for them. I think he still has a lot of creativity. He's still good at beating his man, even though he's gotten a little bit older. He doesn't really have that same pace, but I think at Everton you'll be able to see more of that free flowing um, expression from Grealish, just having a crazy pop shot from outside of the box, taking people on, just putting balls in the box, being dangerous. I think you can see that at Everton. And I think for City, this is someone you need to get rid of. I think he was surplus to requirements. I think it's someone they didn't need anymore. I think it's someone they didn't really use anymore. So for City, this is a good move. For Everton, this is a good move. If they can get that price down, if he has a good season and they can get that price down next year, I think he would be a great signing for them in the 30 to 40 million region. The other big rumor yesterday and today, Savio, whatever you like to call him, from Manchester City to Spurs in a roughly £50 million package. And I think this guy is a baller. He's young. He's incredible at taking on his man. He just doesn't have the output that you want out of a Premier League winger. But I think at Spurs, he could play on either side. You could play a lot around a lot of great attackers. You're under a new manager who's a little more pragmatic, but you still get to play in the Champions League. You still get to be one of the top teams. Despite Spurs finishing 17th, they're still going to be a top team next year. Still one of the big six. Still one of the biggest clubs in England. I think this is a really good move for Spurs. For Savinho, maybe they see that Pep doesn't want to use him. He's not getting a lot of time. I'm not too sure on why he would want this move. Unless City's bringing in another winger, but with people leaving, I don't see why he would want this move. I think he's a little one-footed. That's the only downside I would really say to him. His goals and him being a little reliant on his left foot could be an issue. But I think he's a great player, and I think he'll be really good for Tottenham Hotspur. The last outgoing today for City, which might be the most devastating one for City fans and Academy fans, is James McAtee for roughly 20 million to Nottingham Forest, which seems like it's going to get done very soon, according to Fabrizio Romano. This is someone that City Academy watchers and City fans say he's very talented. He's not at a Foden or a Palmer type of player, but he could be. You never know how some of these players pan out, especially City's Academy, which produces such great talent. But I think this is someone that would have got a lot of playing time this year, and I think if the rumors yesterday that Savinho is leaving, I think he would break out in this team a lot. I mean, maybe he sees the signing of Cherky and Marmoush in the winter that he's not going to get enough time, but I think he could be really good for them. But I think for Forest, this is a really good move. This is someone they need, in the sense that they need squad players. They need someone to replace Elanga. I know they brought in Ndoye from Bologna, who is good. I haven't watched a whole lot of Bologna, but I thought he looked really good when he was playing, especially in the final, the Coppa Italia final, and I thought he looked really dangerous for Switzerland last Euros. I didn't really know who he was, and that was kind of me seeing him and breaking out to me at least. And he's 24. He's got good experience. He's played in a top league in Serie A, won a trophy last year, and now you're adding someone like McAtee, who's a little younger but used to the Premier League, played under one of the best managers in the world, played under one of the best teams in the world, and could really break out and shine. Maybe he has a Palmer-esque season. I don't see it, but I think this is a good move for him, and I think this is a good move for Forest because they need depth now that they're going to be playing in Europe this year. It seems like they're going to be playing in Europa League now that Crystal Palace's appeal got rejected. And they need people. You need depth in these European competitions. If they want to win a cup, they want to compete in Europe, if they want to make Europe consistently and become a top team, that's what you need to do. Obviously, their owner is very serious about winning. You saw how he is going onto the field, and the whole Morgan Gibbs White contract, holding him at gunpoint basically to sign a new contract. But retaining him is also a big deal. But I think this is a good move. And for City, it looks like they're targeting Rodrygo, who is going to be a very tough deal to get done, but they have the money to spend. They'll give him the salary. They'll pay the transfer fee. They'll get decent money out of these three players. And that this signing Rodrygo, someone I've raved about, someone that I really wanted at Arsenal, someone I thought was going to go to Liverpool and basically wrap up the league for them. Going to City is a huge deal, and he would make them a, a, a powerhouse again if they're not already. I think him coming in, and even if Liverpool sign an Isak, I think they'll be right there with each other. I think Pep is still one of the best managers in the world, if not the best. Their squad is still extremely strong. They brought in Cherki. They brought in Marmoush in the winter, but it feels like a new signing because he's going to get a full season. Nico Gonzalez, who hasn't got a lot of minutes, but now that Rodri's injured, maybe we could see more of him. And Reinders, who I think is a top-class player, who do very good for them. I know they lost KDB. I know they're losing Rodri injury. But I still think they're going to be up there. I still think they could arguably be favorites for the title if they get Rodrygo. I think this guy is one of the best wingers in the world. And if you put him on the left, and you have Haaland, and you have Marmoush up front, and you have Foden behind him, that attack is just as deadly as Liverpool's, in my opinion. I think for teams like Arsenal and Liverpool, I think Liverpool, if they see that this deal is happening, they need to wrap up the Isak deal quick. Because it seems like it's stalling a little bit, but I still think it will get done because I think the player's pushing for it. They don't have to worry too much. I think a team like Arsenal, maybe even Chelsea, have to worry a lot because we've been behind City for the last 2 years, and then we finally get ahead of them. We finally finish above them. We spanked them at the Emirates. We did very well against them before the red card at the Etihad. And now it seems like they're just moving a level past us again if we don't bring in something to help our attack, to bolster our attack, to make it a lot stronger, especially on the left. I know we brought in Gyökeres. I know Zubimendi has looked very good in preseason. But we need, I still feel like we need another piece. And I made a whole video about that. But this is an Arsenal video. This is about City. This is a phenomenal signing. I think they should get it done. If they're not able to, I don't know who they would pivot to. Maybe they'd look at a Malik Fofana, who's been a hot prospect for a lot of teams. Chelsea looked into him. Liverpool looked into him. There's loose links with Arsenal. A lot of top teams looking at him. I don't know who else they bring in. Maybe they see Doku as a right winger, and that's why they want to go for Rodrygo, or they see Rodrygo as a right winger, or maybe they see him playing on both. But for Rodrygo, I don't know if this is the best Prem team to him to go to, despite all the great things I've said about them. I don't know if Pep will use him in the right way. I don't know if Pep will want him or let him express himself as much as he would like to. I think a Liverpool, such a free-flowing attack with a Verts who, you saw how he linked up with Ekitike yesterday in the Community Shield. I think and Mo Salah, who's one of the best creators, if not the best creator now in the league. I would think that's a way better team for him. Maybe they don't want him. It seems like he's happy in Madrid. It seems like he's not going to leave Madrid. I think that's more likely, and I think City will probably pivot to somebody else. But if they're able to, I just wanted to talk about this deal because it is a huge headline, and it is Fabrizio putting out that they're interested, that Real Madrid's asking for around 100 million, and there could be something to that. You can't discard the loose links because then the snowball effect comes in, and these deals get done so quickly you don't even realize it. So, great move for City. I think their outgoings, losing Savinho, losing McAtee, could be a problem down the line because of how young they are. But if you're able to bring in a Rodrygo, who's still young himself, he's only 24 years old, and he's on the cusp of being a world-class player, I don't think you'd be too upset about it. These are really crazy moves at this time in the year. I'm going to be coming out with a Premier League predictions video when we get closer to the Liverpool game because, bombs could drop in the next couple of days, and I don't want to get caught behind it type of deal because it will affect how I look at the league. And even the transfer deadline isn't even until the end of August. It's still not for another 20-odd days. Could change how we look at this league. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.